Hi, Christine Faulkner, estate planning attorney with Cava and Faulkner and Sacramento and Elk Grove Living Trust attorney. And thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of The Daily with Christine. So, have you ever wondered what is the difference between a living will and an advanced healthcare directive? We're going to talk about that today, but one thing I wanted to share with you is that in California, you can actually make an oral healthcare directive. Instead of it being in writing, you can give your healthcare directive orally as long as you're not in a coma, makes sense, and as long as you are not confused to the point that you lack decision-making power. So, interesting to know that you don't have to have it in writing, but it actually can be executed orally. If you do have a written advanced healthcare directive, know that it will either need to be witnessed by two disinterested witnesses, usually not family members, or more commonly notarized. And so an advanced healthcare directive encompasses essentially legal orders surrounding your concern or wishes for future medical care. And one of the things that is generally listed in that document are your healthcare agents or healthcare proxies. Who are the people that you would want making healthcare decisions for you if you were not able to do so? So you can name anybody that you trust to execute these decisions in the event you're unable to make those decisions for yourself. The difference between a healthcare directive versus a living will is a kind of directive, but it tends to focus most exclusively on end-of-life decision-making. It tends to focus on both your wishes surrounding what would happen if you were terminally ill and whether you wish life support or life-sustaining efforts to be made on your behalf. That document goes into some detail about what it is that you do and do not want, the duration and types of life-sustaining treatment. So there is some overlap, but a large portion of the healthcare directive does not address end-of-life situations, whereas the living will does. So that is the primary difference between those two documents. Something that's really important to know about why these documents are so important to you. If you become incapacitated and you don't have an advanced healthcare directive so that someone can make decisions for you in the event of incapacity, your family could end up in court trying to get a conservatorship or guardianship over you. That's a very expensive, time-consuming, and invasive proceeding, and it is ongoing, and it is quite expensive. So that in and of itself is a great reason why you don't want your family to end up there. You don't want to be there. You want to take control. You want to take the reins here and choose people who you trust to execute healthcare decision-making for you should you be incapacitated. In a coma, perhaps you have a stroke. God forbid you contract COVID and are intubated. So there are some reasons why having a healthcare directive with some detail about what you do and don't want is so important. It will be a tremendous gift to your family and to yourself because it allows you to remain in control. And really, when you no longer are able to communicate your wishes, then it's the people that you would want to step in for you who are making those decisions for you, not someone that a judge may appoint on your behalf. Many people are quite concerned about others not really respecting their bodily autonomy and the wishes that they have for their own bodies. And so that is why exerting control is so important. So it's really important when you do execute these documents that you provide copies to your healthcare providers. They should be on file. We also think you should provide copies to the actual agents or proxies themselves, and generally recommend that to clients that they provide a copy, because if you have a medical emergency, you want your agents to be able to spring into action rather than have to come to your home and rummage through your closets to try to find those documents. As a practical matter, it is so important that your healthcare agents do indeed have a copy, and a copy is as good as an original. In our practice, we have, of course, a signed copy. So as the lawyer, the lawyer already has a copy of that document if if they need to take action on behalf of the family. And keeping younger generations protected in this way is very important as well. So if you have young adult children or young folks in your life that are over 18, it is really important that they have an advanced healthcare directive to protect them and their families, to enable their families to jump in and help them should they become incapacitated. So my older child was a college athlete. I put this in place for both of my sons when they turned 18. Both were athletes, and having incapacity planning in place was so important to us. It allowed us to be able to speak with our son's physicians when he did have injuries in sports, and be able to talk to the billing department as well to get those medical bills paid. So many times people don't think about the practical aspect of what happens when your children or young people in your life become adults. While we still may be financially responsible for them, it's not really legally possible anymore without these documents to step in and help them. And it can really cause anguish, financial hardship, and some major time investment to get out of this mess if you have a young person who is incapacitated without these planning documents. So just a little bit of knowledge to help you decipher what is the difference between a living will and an advanced healthcare directive, why they're so important to you and your family, and who should have copies. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of The Daily with Christine. If you like our content, subscribe to our channel. We'd love to see you. You'll get notified of new videos as they're released, and you can click on the logo, which is our subscribe button, to subscribe on YouTube. Thank you again so much. Let us know what you want to hear about, and we will create content for you. Have a great Friday. Enjoy your weekend, and thanks so much for tuning in. Bye-bye.